Hello everyone, this is Red Robot, and today we're going to be putting the new katana that got tweaked in the Tough Break update through its paces with the Concheror. Now, I've done these kind of loadouts before. I've done it with the escape plan, done it with the equalizer, but the changes to the katana make this weapon so fun and so amazing to use. Like, the weapons that have rewards on hit, let's say the Eyelander gives you additional health and speed, the katana's effect, the added health that can go into overheal, is so massive. Overheal is so powerful, and most of the time Medic has a complete monopoly over it, obviously. You can get a little bit through like the power jack or whatever, and I think there's a few other ways to get it. But this is really the first way you can reliably get a ton of overheal for yourself, and it feels really awesome. You can finally achieve getting body blocked by a demo mid-air and sniped. How lucky. You can achieve so many things you couldn't do before as Soldier with this additional health. However, that's not the only thing that changed with the katana. It lost its random crits, the poor sword that crit every time, crits no longer. I might do a video using it with the crit streak for old time's sake, eventually. It also gained extended range, which is really cool. But of course there has to be a downside for all these positives, and that's the, that's the switch speed penalty. You can't pull it out very quickly, so you have to kind of preemptively pull out your sword, as you see I'm doing here, and it would have worked if there hadn't been another sniper. All these changes are nice, they're good, but I think the one change that makes this weapon just so much more comfortable for me to use is the fact that you're not stuck with it in your hand. Now you can sheath it without getting a kill. You'll take 50 damage, but at least you can, be useful. There was nothing lamer than being stuck with your sword out, because you're so slow as Soldier, and you won't be able to hit anyone. Of course, the extended melee range now makes catching enemies a lot more possible, but then you do have to weigh that with the decreased switch time, so you don't have as much time to hit them kind of thing. It's pluses and negatives, but overall, I really love the changes. Now, this weapon is killer with the Concheror. The additional movement speed, plus the additional range, plus the amazing healing and overheal you get with it, just makes you into a monster for the duration of the charge. You'll see here, I actually lost my charge meter, bug with my HUD or something like that. Or you can also note the Concheror's increased heal rate now. It ranks up to 4 per tick, which is really nice. The katana was always awesome at kind of going in, taking a ton of damage, hitting an enemy, healing yourself to full, and carrying on the fight. But now that it's got the increased range, now that you can overheal yourself with it, it's just so much more reliable. There'd be situations where you kill someone with the katana when you're already at full health, and that wasn't very useful, and there'd be times where like you would try and get in, pull your katana out, you hit them, makes the hit sound, don't do any damage, and now you're stuck with the weapon out. Just, it's so much more flexible, so much more versatile. It kind of reminds me of the escape plan in kind of a weird way. The escape plan's so great in pinch situations, and this new katana is so awesome as well. Whereas the escape plan is obviously more of the kind of getaway weapon, the katana allows you to stay in the fight a lot stronger than before. You see me just completely failing, getting dunked on by that soldier. I really need to check both ways before leaving the drop down. I know people are either upset or overjoyed that the katana lost its random crits. Of course, we all loved getting those bitch slap 195 damage sword swings, but the thing is that now that you do less damage, as I'm demonstrating right now, it's really important to damage them, soften them up with your rockets first. You'll notice at the start, I was kind of popping players into the air with a rocket and finishing off with the sword swing. That's super effective, especially with the additional range, as I've mentioned about 50 times before, but it's so important and so fun to use. Soldier has a ton of melees, and they all have really cool effects mostly. I mean, you got the equalizer for raw damage, the escape plan for the escapes, the disciplinary action for the massive range, and the speed boosts on teammates. There's a lot you can do with them, and I feel like the katana is kind of the first melee I feel comfortable fighting with on the ground. That range and that reliable heal, it's the kind of weapon that I just want to pull out and use all the time. It feels like a lot more of a worthy thing to use than like any of the other shovels or pickaxes. One of the coolest things about the new katana is the kind of win more factor it brings to the table. Now, I love kind of snowballing weapons. They're not really weapons that are as effective in like a competitive setting, but weapons that you can use in pub to farm enemy players, kind of like have a mini kill streak effect. Weapons like that I really enjoy using, and the amount of win more you can do with a katana is so amazing. Before it let you restore your health up to full, I mean, that's amazing. For weapons that sometimes look at the warrior spirit, 50 health on kill, that's pathetic. Whereas this weapon can boost your health beyond its normal limits to overheal, something Medic can usually only do, unless it's of course, like the deluxe bar or whatever. This is so amazing because it lets you kind of fight on the same playing field as those frustrating pocketed heavies and demos and soldiers. It can be really tough to fight other players with overheal and with a medic rammed up their butt, and having this kind of overheal in your pocket, find a player, weaken them, finish them off. You know, if you play your cards right, you can be on the same playing field as those other players with the medics, and that feels really good. It feels really nice to be able to, you know, it feels really nice to be rewarded for getting a kill with this weapon that's kind of a little bit risky to pull out, and then being able to use that to do something really, really great in game. And that clip was me completely forgetting about the draw speed penalty. The fact that the reward for getting a kill with this weapon is so big now makes me really excited for those kind of soldier versus demo, soldier versus soldier katana duels, which are really, really intense. As for other options, I was kind of thinking about using it with the man treads and the black box. The black box so you don't kill yourself with rocket jump, so you have a little bit of healing there. Maybe even the Liberty Launcher. Actually, scratch that. The Liberty Launcher doesn't do any damage. Using it with the black box and the man treads, just so you can have that kind of man treads knockback resistance. One of the most frustrating things is that even though you've got that additional range, you can still be knocked back and played around with. You note that I'm getting like sniped a lot in mid-air, and that takes away from all my momentum, or I just rocket jump into walls like an idiot. Yeah, just having a little bit of knockback resistance in the form of man treads would be awesome. Just one more reason to add a movement speed buff to the man treads if there weren't already enough. Also considered trying it out with the buff banner, mostly just because you're only doing 65 damage a hit, and although the speed boost for the conch is, as you're seeing, incredibly important for getting these sword kills, if you use it with the buff banner, you'd be going for more of a kind of market garden style of playing, that like you gotta jump at them and hit them with your rocket jump, so using it with like the black box or the Liberty Launcher there might be effective as well. And finally, the battalion's backup, just because when you're at 300 health, having a damage resistance makes you just have an ungodly amount of tanking ability, and it would be really awesome to be able to, let's say, get a sword kill with the katana, so you've got a big overheal, then pop your battalion's backup for the resist, and then go out and take a sentry or go out and push the point. The critical immunity is amazing too, because the only thing that's going to be killing you at 300 health is just going to be a random crit or a headshot anyway. And with a bunch of pointless theory crafting, that ends the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I think I might have gone a bit too fast, but I was just really excited to get back into it. Expect videos a lot more frequently from now on, and I'm getting excited and ready for more and more TF2 in 2016. Hopefully you'll come along with me. See you next time.